This is a sports presentation of the WB11. New York Yankees baseball, live on the WB11.
From Yankee Stadium in the Bronx, WB11 Sports proudly presents New York Yankees baseball. Today, the Yankees beat the Baltimore Orioles. The starting pitchers for today's game are Scott Erickson for Baltimore and David Cone for the Yankees. Hello, everybody. I'm Bobby Mercer. Welcome to New York Yankees baseball here on the WB11. Needless to say, it has been a wonderful run for the Yankees here in the first half. Still only one game left, but they are setting records each and every time they win a ball game here in the American League. Let's go to the charts and take a look at what they have done. Historic halfway point for the Yankees. 14 in modern Major League history to start the season. 40 games over 560 and 20, and they've got a chance with 64 more wins will give New York the best winning percentage in history, and they have done that without some key players on their ball club. Chili Davis still on this disabled list, so the Yankees with an incredible run. It should be very exciting for the second half. Let's say hello to Susan Wallman. And Susan, it's been an incredible first half for the Yankees. It's been a terrible first half for Baltimore. Yesterday was a very controversial play and a key part of the game.
Oh, absolutely. When it goes bad for you, it really goes bad for you. Let's take a look what happened yesterday. Hoyles bunts this pitch back to Mariano, who throws over to Brocious. Now look at Brocious. He absolutely does not have control of the ball in either hand. Look at it again. Rebele gets in. He was called out by the third base umpire. Here goes Sammy Palazzo to argue. He's thrown out of the game. Ray Miller is thrown out of the game. When it's going bad, it's going bad for you.
And Sammy was thrown out because he came onto the field before time had been called. We take a look at the American League standings here with only one game left before the first half is over with. And Boston behind by 11 games, but Baltimore 25 and a half games back in the American League with one more game to go. Well, when we talk about pitching, David Cone goes today. We want to talk to Tommy John because he knows all about pitching. David Cone, what an incredible run he has had. He has won 11 out of his last 12.
Bobby, other than those first two starts where he gave up 16 earned runs, David Cone's ERA is down around 3.33. I think the game that brought David Cone to where he is now was on June 7th against Florida right here at the stadium when he had the cut finger and couldn't throw his forkball. He started to power pitch, and that's what David Cone does best. That was the game that David Cone brought him right to where he is now. He's throwing the ball better than he has all season.
And with the win this afternoon with that record of 11-2, he will have a chance to tie for the most wins in the American League for the first half. Aaron Seeley with Texas has 12 wins already. So David Cone goes for his 12th win this afternoon. The Yankees continue with their great run here at Yankee Stadium. They are 32-6, only have lost 6 games all year long. Susan, Tommy, and I will have the starting lineups coming back right after this. Stay with us.
Hey, boss, it's us. We've been out here for a while solving America's transportation needs, and we were just wondering, can we come back?
Now, Eddie Layton will play our national anthem.
Well, here at Yankee Stadium, they just had a moment of silence for the fire captain. We'll tell you about that, but now let's go down for our national anthem. Well, a beautiful day for baseball, but before the anthem, they had a moment of silence for Fire Captain Scott LaPietra, who died yesterday. New York Yankees baseball is sponsored by the Toyota Camry, the #1 selling car in America, Toyota every day. And that's based on the R&L Polk 1997 total passenger car registrations. And by Corona Extra, change your whole attitude. By the company you count on wherever life takes you, General Motors, that's people in motion. And by Nobody Beats the Wiz for the biggest selection and the guaranteed lowest prices on home entertainment and communication products, music, movies, and more. Nobody beats the Wiz. And by the new Dodge, it's about change. Good crowd on hand for this final game of this 3-game series between Baltimore and New York, and the final game before the All-Star break and before the second half starts, as the Yankees will travel to Tampa to take on the Devil Rays in the first ever meeting in Tampa, that new stadium down there. So the All-Star game is Tuesday night. Yankees will take 2 or 3 days off, except for about 5 of them who will travel to Denver for the All-Star game. Well, the starting lineup for the Orioles is brought to you by Corona Extra. Corona Extra, change your whole attitude. And the Oriole lineup, that looks like this. And the Orioles have not won on the road in their last 9 outings. So Alomar bats leadoff. Brady Anderson has been moved into the second spot. Eric Davis, the designated hitter, batting third. Powell Merrill in the 4th spot. Surhoff, Ripken, Carter, Webster gets the assignment behind home plate. And then Mike Bordy.
And now let's look at the defense, brought to you by Dodge. Lede, Curtis, O'Neill in the outfield. Girardi, Martinez, Soho, Jeter, and Dale Swain spelling Scott Brocious at third base. Dale Swain getting a chance to play a little third, give Scott Brocious a little time off to just have a nice time before he goes out to Denver and plays in an all-star game. And I'll tell you, Bobby, I know you played in some, I played in some. That is one of the best feelings in the world.
No doubt about it, and it's a great honor to be able to be one of those all-stars. Somebody who has been picked to play amongst the best in the American League and to play against a rival, the National League, in front of millions and millions of people who will be watching and who will be at that game. David Cone won't be there. The Yankees are 13-2 in his last 15 starts, and they have done well for him in the offensive department. Joe Torre will be there as a coach in Denver. He'll be one of Mike Hargrove's coaches. And I'm sure Hargrove and Joe Torre and whoever else is there will be asking him, how in the world can you be 40 games over 500? Alomar sends the first pitch from David Cone into center field, and it turns into an easy play for Curtis, who has done a great job in center in place of Bernie Williams, who's on the disabled list. Chad Curtis has won a couple of games himself, stealing a base, scoring some runs, and Curtis has played an admirable center field. That's the strength of the Yankees, though.
They have great depth, and Bernie Williams went down, and Chad Curtis has done a very good job. Bernie Williams going to get a little start Wednesday night down in Tampa on a rehab assignment. Golly, would that be good to see him back early in the second half.
And this is Brady Anderson. Cone misses a pie to Anderson. Anderson normally the leadoff man for Baltimore, but look at that average, 215. So Ray Miller, the skipper, has been trying to find a place to fit him. You're talking about Bernie, TJ. He will leave this afternoon at 4 o'clock to travel to Tampa, play a couple of games down there. Joe Torre will be there after the All-Star game to watch him. But I understand that Bernie has done everything that they've asked him to do here at the stadium, and they feel very confident that he will be joining the team right after the All-Star break. There's Ray Miller. He was tossed from yesterday's game. Been a frustrating year for him. A terrible call in yesterday's game, and very controversial call at third base. May have cost the Orioles the ball game. That pitch foul back out of play. Now it's 1-2.
The big thing that Ray Miller, it wasn't that it was a blown call. He said, you know, hey, you get calls like that all the time. Just confer. If they all got together and they all talked it over and said, hey, we blew the call, but let's let it stand. He said, I can't argue. They wouldn't do that, and he said that's not right.
That's another foul off to the left side. And you can't say that the umpire blew the call. It was Foster at third base. Maybe he was out of position. But, you know, from an umpire's standpoint, you've got to make that split-second decision. But the fact that they wouldn't ask each other or confer with each other on whether somebody saw it a different way, that was what the bad part of that situation was. Well, Cone tried to get inside on Anderson. He came in a little bit too far, and so Anderson is on at first base. Sam Palazzo has never been thrown out of a major league game. Third base coach for Baltimore, immediately ejected on that play yesterday.
Well, that was, you know, like you said in the open, he was on the field before play was called, before time was called, and that's a no-no. And, you know, it was just one thing after another, and the frustrating season, and Ray Miller just exploded. And, you know, he may get an early exit today also if a couple things go wrong. I tell you, he will vent his anger rapidly.
And this is Eric Davis batting with one man on, one man out. Just to add one more highlight to yesterday's game, that game was played under protest by Ray Miller and the Orioles. David Cone has won 11 out of his last 12. And as Tommy mentioned, without a couple of bad outings right in the very beginning of 1998, his earned run average would be in the low 300s, I mean in the low threes. And even one other game, it would be even...
he had in 15 innings, he's given up 21 earned runs. And if you take those away, it's an ERA of 2.89. Pretty good.
Now the pitch inside. Now it's 1-1. Clearly the mainstay on this staff for the New York Yankees. David Cone not only is the guy that they look up to, he is a spokesperson for this ball club. That'll be fouled back behind home plate and out of play. And when the year started, it was, you know, the big question mark, is David Cone going to be physically fit to lead the Yankees in 1998? I think he's answered that question.
Well, I think the big question that Joe Torre and Mel Stottlemyre wanted to know, was he going to be fit? David Cone wanted to know, how am I going to respond? And it's as much of a question mark to him, but I think he's done everything they've asked of him.
Runner takes off. The pitch is swung on a miss, so it's strike 3, 2 outs. But Brady will end up at second base, his 8th stolen base of the year.
David Cone has a long, slow motion, especially when he comes down Laredo like he does here. And that is a high inside fastball, and really didn't give Girardi any chance to throw Brady Anderson. Now, you see Brady had a little jump move right there. He never came still, never came to a stop. And that's the one no-no pitcher. You get thinking, Bobby, so much about the hitter, you forget the runner.
And the guy that has been the hot bat for the Orioles lately, Rafael Palmeiro, will step in. Palmeiro with 26 home runs and 72 RBIs. Batting .283 with runners at scoring position. Palmeiro was just added to the All-Star roster in place of Mo Vaughn, who is hurt and cannot go. There goes Anderson with 2 outs at third. And the throw was in the dirt. Otherwise, if it's a good throw, Swain will put the tag on Anderson, and it's really not a very good play, in my opinion, because if you get thrown out, it's a terrible play, and you must make it. It's a 100% sure play that you got to be there. You don't want to get thrown out with 2 outs. If
it's 1 out, it's a good play. 2 outs, you're just as well off at second base as you are third base. You got to know 100% in your mind that you're going to make it.
He made it. And so Palmeiro will be swinging with the man on at third, and he swings through that one. Now it's 1-2. Well, let's take a look at the RBI leaders in the American League. Juan Gonzalez with 97 RBIs. I mean, he's way out in front of everybody else. Palmeiro is in there with 72, tied for third. High and deep to right field. If it stays fair, it's going to be trouble, and it just curves foul at the last minute. Well, that will be a cause for some heart palpitations, you know, when that ball goes up into the air like this. Just for a moment, though.
That was a fastball supposed to have been inside, but David left it out over the plate, and Palmeiro was out in front. Just the same as a little foul ball down the first baseline. We'll see what he does here.
That one almost got away from him. Nice job by Girardi to glove it. Girardi did not play yesterday, so he gets the assignment this afternoon. There's Anderson with 2 outs on at third base. Good pitch by Cone. He has Palmeiro out in front, and Soho will throw him out, so no damage done here in the first inning. Orioles leave 1 man on. Yankees coming up. No score. Bottom of the first inning, so let's take a look at the starting lineup for the New York Yankees. Brought to you by Corona Extra Beer. Corona Extra, change your whole attitude. Jeter leads it off, and Knobloch still on the shelf. Soho at second base. O'Neill, Martinez, Raines, the designated hitter. Curtis Leday gets a start in left field. Swaim at third base. Brocious off at third, and Girardi does the catching.
Now here's the defense brought to you by Dodge. Surhoff, Anderson, Carter across the outfield. Ripken, Bordick, Alomar, Palmeiro, and Lenny Webster back at the plate. Lenny Webster, a good backup catcher. A good backup catcher. Does a lot of things well, but just when he gets overexposed, that's when they find out what his weaknesses are. Scott Erickson, 8-6, but he's a workhorse. 132 innings. 101 strikeouts.
And the first pitch from Erickson is behind Derek Jeter. And something that Scott Erickson, he acts like the ball got away from him. Kaiser, I think, will go out, and anytime there's a pitch thrown close between these two teams now, man, that's not even close. That was way behind Derek Jeter. And Erickson acts like it slipped out of his hand, but normally he has pretty good control.
Well, he has very good control, and I know that, okay, David Cone hit
Brady
Anderson with a slider.
Yeah.
Now, come on. That's not even intelligence.
No. And that pitch fouled back and out of play.
You know, there comes a time, Bobby, that you protect your teammates, and there comes a time that it's just absurdity. And now, if David Cone threw a fastball or something that was a foot and a half back of him, okay, I see it, but not with a breaking ball.
First of all, Brady Anderson hitting a little over 200. Why in the world would you want to put him on base? And that pitch is down low. You're right. There comes a time, I mean, every player knows if you play the game any days at all, you know when one is intentional and when one's not intentional. And that was a blatant ball behind Jeter, so he's going to make Erickson pay for it. Comes up with a base hit leading off here in the bottom of the first inning, so Derek continues his hot hitting. And what a player he has become for the New York Yankees.
Right down the middle of the plate, and like we said earlier, Derek Jeter, an outstanding inside-out right field stroke. You've got to try to pitch him inside. And you keep the ball out on the plate, and he will hit it to right field all day long.
You know, if you're Baltimore, you can lick your wounds all you want, but you got to produce within your own organization if you're going to be able to put together a good foundation, and this is what the Yankees have done. You talk about Derek Jeter, you talk about Andy Pettitte, you got Leday up here, who's the #1 prospect. Everybody wants him. Posada, I mean, you can go on and on and on, and they got many more down in the minor leagues that are waiting and knocking on the door. That's a sign of a great organization that's able to do that. Baltimore has not done that.
Baltimore used to have, when Harry Dalton and that crew were running the show, they had probably one of the 2 or 3 best minor league systems in baseball. And it has been depleted, and they do not have that anymore. They cannot call players up from Rochester.
Soho trying to hit behind the runner. That's going to be a good play by Alomar at second base. His only play is to force the runner at first, so Jeter will move to second into scoring position.
Bobby, the other thing Baltimore used to have is great arms in their minor league system. They don't have that anymore, and how they could have depleted the minor league system is beyond me. They just have not paid as close attention as they should. On the other hand, the Yankees have done an outstanding job. When we played with the Yankees, we had a horrible minor league system, and the player development people have gone out. They've signed quality players. They've done all the things they've had to do, and they've got a stockpile down there now.
Got to give a lot of credit to Cashman, all the baseball people, George Steinbrenner. And an organization that recognizes how to build a foundation, and they have certainly done it. It's almost like a broken record, telling what these guys are doing in the first half and what they've done for the Yankees. Check at Paul O'Neill, 32-89. Look at what he has done with runners in scoring position. He was 1 for 4 yesterday. Nobody is one of those blatant prima donnas. They don't have any of that type on this ball club. They just come out and try to win every day. You talk about complacency in the second half. Are the Yankees going to be so complacent to let somebody back into this race? I don't think so. This is not the makeup of this ball club.
No, that's not the plus. I don't think Joe Torre and the coaching staff would let that happen. But I don't think guys like Paul O'Neill and Tino and Knobloch and G. I mean, they just have too many quality major league winning type ball players.
Besides that, that's not the makeup of Mr. George Steinbrenner, who owns this ball club. He is not a complacent person.
He's not?
That's outside and low at 3-1. And another thing that this ball club does so well as a whole, the offensive part of it, is that they don't swing at many bad pitches. They will make that pitcher work in that strike zone. So a hitter's count coming up for O'Neill with Martinez on deck. Takes it to the left side. Ripken with a nice play. He will throw out O'Neill. Jeter will hold at second, so Martinez will bat with 2 outs and 1 man on.
Well, everybody wants to know, is the consecutive game streak hurting Cal Ripken Jr. Making plays like that? He just keeps going on and on. That's a nice play. Paul O'Neill did a good piece of hitting, a sinker down and away. If you try and pull Scott Erickson, you're going to hit a lot of ground balls to shortstop and a lot of ground balls to second baseman.
And Tino Martinez, he has been swinging the hot bat on this homestand. He's 7 for 20 with 3 home runs and 9 RBIs. And he probably wished he had that one back from Erickson. He also loves those runners in scoring position, batting .373 with men in that position for him. That's inside. That'll leave the count up at 1-1. Went into a little bit of a slide after being hit by that Benitez fastball in the back. Just never was the same physically, but now he is out of that and swinging the bat with a lot of confidence. It's one thing to be physically fit, TJ, to swing the bat. It's another thing to be physically fit mentally to swing the bat.
Bobby, you well know is if you've got a little stitch in your shoulder and you go to swing and it catches on you, not that you can't swing through it, but you anticipate that it's going to be there, and consequently you don't have the same force or the same free, easy swing. And Tino Martinez has a beautiful, fluid, easy swing.
3-1 count coming. Down low and outside, ball 4. So the Yankees now will have runners at first and second for Tim Raines.
You know, if a person didn't know better, even in the first inning, you would think that the Baltimore Orioles and Scott Erickson pitched around Tino Martinez right there. 2-1, he came inside on a ball about a foot inside, and then 3-1, the ball was way outside. And they just didn't want to give Tino anything good to hit. They'd say, we'll rather Tim Raines hit the ball than Tino Martinez.
Raines batting .291, 3 home runs, 26 RBIs, a veteran switch hitter. And ready and fouls the first pitch out of play. Talk about somebody handling his players the right way. Joe Torre and what he has done with Tim Raines and Strawberry and Curtis and all the guys that he uses off of that bench. But he has really handled Raines well to keep him healthy and playing every day when he needs him.
You know, Tim's had some problems with his legs, hamstrings, etc. You don't want to overuse him or abuse him, and Joe Torre has done just an outstanding job.
Great day for baseball weather-wise. It is absolutely gorgeous here at the stadium. A slight breeze blowing from left field to right field. And that'll be another pitch foul out of play. Big crowd on hand. You see almost a capacity crowd here for this Sunday afternoon game, July the 5th. You can see the flags just up above blowing from left field to right field. That doesn't really tell you which way the ball's going to be traveling here at the stadium, because it swirls around, actually goes the opposite way.
Now you say when the wind's blowing like that, it's actually blowing out to left center field.
That's right. And you can mark it down. I am an authority on that. I've been in the outfield too many times here at Yankee Stadium and have broken the wrong way. Up high for ball 3, 3 and 2 with 2 outs. The runners will be off for this pitch.
Erickson trying to backdoor curveball and not having success with it on 2-2, now 3-2. When you've got a sinker, Bobby, and you throw it 95 miles an hour, I would defy guys to put it in play.
Runners are off, and the pitch is foul back down to play.
And Erickson Erickson's a horse. The big thing when he was with the Twins, they thought he had hurt his arm and was losing speed, because all of a sudden his fastball was like 87, 88 miles an hour. Came over to Baltimore, and Ray Miller got him to throw the ball more in between starts. And all of a sudden, his fastball found that life, that 92, 93, 94 miles an hour with some good diving sink action.
You will always see Erickson, one of those leaders, getting more ground ball outs as compared to fly ball outs, especially with that good sinker he's got. Runners off again, and the pitch is way up high. Ball 4. The bases are loaded for Chad Curtis. Even though Erickson has walked 2 men here in the bottom of the first inning, TJ, I haven't seen him throw one wild pitch like he threw to Derek Jeter leading off this inning.
No,
I
think
just kind of missed outside a little bit, you know.
Yeah. That's you know, there was an old Yankee and an ex-Yankee pitcher named Ralph Terry said, if you're a sinker ball pitcher, don't make a bad pitch in the first inning. Always try to throw your pitch. You will always have a base open. And I said, which one was that? He said, home plate.
Well, Curtis will try to take care of the bases loaded here with 2 outs. Good numbers for Chad. 4 hits in his last 10 at-bats. Had a 2-run single yesterday. And chases one up high. Now it's a 0-2 count. There's Jeter at third. Martinez at second, and of course Raines on at first base. So Yankees with a big threat here in the first inning. Down the right field line, and it will curve foul.
This is a tough count with the bases loaded in the first inning. You don't want to hang anything, so if you're going to throw a breaking ball, you say, gee, you know, I want to really make sure I get on top of it. But with the bases loaded, you could bounce it, wild pitch, run in the first inning.
I think a lot of times, TJ, sinker ball pitchers who are strong like Erickson come out in the first inning. If you don't get to them early on in the game when they are overthrowing it, they become a lot tougher as the innings wear on.
He gets underneath about 6 or 8 fastballs so far, and that's why the ball's been up and in.
That's down low. That leaves the count up at 2-2.
And that was a good adjustment. You get underneath the ball, you throw it up and in, then you say, okay, I got to get on top of the ball, and then generally you'll overcompensate and throw the ball low. Now this is the big pitch in the first inning, 2-2. Let's see what he throws.
He throws a good sinker down and away, and Curtis is gone on strikeout. So Erickson pitches out of it. The Yankees leave the bases loaded. No score here at the stadium after 1. If the Yankees, that's a small if, reach the postseason, you will have the opportunity to purchase 4 bleacher seats to 1 game of each postseason series. Mail or fax your order today to 718-588-0715. And for information, you can call 718-293-6000 or stop by the season sales office Monday through Friday, 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. And this offer ends September the 4th. That's a good offer and a great opportunity for fans if you're looking for postseason tickets. B.J. Surhoff leads it off for Baltimore here in the second inning. Surhoff, Rifkin, and Carter are the scheduled three. Native of Rye, New York, B.J. Surhoff, so he knows all about Yankee Stadium and about the New York tradition, even though he's always played on the other side when he comes to this grand old stadium. His high school team was named Garnet. The Rye Garnets. That's not darn it. That's Garnet. Soho will throw out Surhoff. And one gone. Well, one thing the Yankees with Luis Soho, he plays so many positions for them. Knobloch is all right. He was able to play today, but Joe Torre not taking any chances, and he gets another day off.
I asked Chuck last night how he felt, and he said fine. He said, I just need some days off. 2 days off, 3 days off, the All-Star break, 3 days off. He'll come back stronger than ever. But when you got Soho, why chance it?
And Rifkin batting .258, 7 home runs, 36 RBIs. In for a 5 for 31 slump. Little tapper swing. Has time to throw out Rifkin, and it's 2 gone. Rifkin, of course, with that record continuing on with him, and from this point on, you know, if he doesn't hit 300 all the time, they're going to say, well, he's too tired. He should take a day off. He should end the streak.
There was a sports writer talking about that today, and I just said, who are they going to put him? Who's going to take his place? Okay, maybe you might DH him, or you might do something like that, but they don't have anybody in the minor league system. I know I haven't seen anybody at Rochester, so play the guy. I mean, because like I said, I want to see him get 3,000.
And Joe Carter, one of the premier home run hitters in the American League with 387 total. He's hit 9 this year. All 9 of them have been solo shots. But speaking of Cal Rifkin, it'll be up to Cal to take himself out of the game. He will be the one that makes the decision on whether he wants to break that streak or not. One thing, when you're going for the streak, everybody's for you. Once you break it and you start having a bad year, everybody wants you to sit down and rest. 1 ball, 2 strike count with 2 outs to Joe Carter. To me, Cal Rifkin is what baseball is all about. He comes to play every day. Comes to play to win. High fly ball into left field. Lede lost it for a minute. Now he's got to make the adjustment to come back. We've got Sunfield out in left field. We've got the wind blowing from left field to right field, but he's able to make that adjustment. So the Orioles are gone here in the second. No score. Coming up, New York coming to bat. Ricky Lede will lead it off, but in the last inning, he had a little bit of a problem picking that ball up.
As you said, Bobby, he broke that.
Well, Ricky Lede, after that play, comes immediately into the dugout. And Jose Cardinal, along with Darryl Strawberry, talking about one of the toughest fields to play in baseball is left field here at Yankee Stadium. It's so big and spacious, and a lot of times you have a problem finding the depth that you want to play. Lede takes the ball outside. 276, 1 home run, 4 RBIs. That 1 home run came off of Scott Erickson, his first major league home run.
Well, Bobby,
We have purposely cut Tommy John's microphone off so he can't talk anymore. And that's a chopper, two-hopper. It hit hard. Look at Alomar at second base throwing off balance. And Leday can motor down the line. He got caught in between. That makes a nice play out of the starting second baseman for the American League All-Star game. Look how far in the outfield he is. And he just put the leather on it and threw it off balance.
Robbie Alomar makes those plays look easy. Smooth hands, but he took that from his father too.
And Dale Swain.
His father, Sandy Alomar, who had the unfortunate experience to play back at me and catch some of those rockets that you guys used to hit off me, had some silky hands also.
Hard chopper towards the first base side. Palmeiro knocks it down, throws it to Erickson, 2 gone. Well, when you start seeing these types of balls hit on the ground, you know that Erickson's sinker ball is working.
Bobby, you said in the first inning, that's the one thing. Sinker ball pitchers come into the game, they feel strong, and they overthrow. Scott Erickson was underneath the ball. And once you get into a groove, it's just like every pitch is just sinker, 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 and you find that groove, and it's just effortless.
Good pitch on the outside corner to Girardi, the 9th place hitter.
I honestly think Scott Erickson takes no-hit stuff to the mound every time he toes it up.
Out of play. Now he'll work in front 0-2. Erickson enjoyed his best season in the major leagues since winning 20 games for Minnesota last year.
And he really has a good high leg kick. He gets good weight retention and gets on top of the ball, and it's got to go down.
Another ground ball, but this time it's to Bordy. They will throw out Girardi. So the Yankees 3 ground ball outs here in the second inning. We played 2 here at the stadium. No score. By Ford, expect more, get more, let you Tri-State quality Ford dealers show you why there's more to afford. And after the All-Star break, the Yankees will travel down to Tampa Bay and take on those Devil Rays, and we're going to have all the action here on the WB11. First game on Thursday at 7, Friday at 7, Saturday at 6:30 p.m. start, and then Sunday the finale at 1:30. Tommy John and I will be bringing you the action from Tampa right here on the WB11.
We'll be down there with our surfing shorts on and our tank tops.
We're not down there to scare anybody, Tom. This is Lenny Webster, who bats 8th, leading off here in the 3rd for Baltimore. I thought something was a little different in Baltimore. That pitch will be out of play. When the controversy was surrounding Armando Benitez in the night they had the brawl here at Yankee Stadium, all the veteran players on this ball club, the Ripkins, the Palmeiros, the Alomars, etc., it was Lenny Webster who was the spokesperson for Baltimore. Nobody really stepped up to the plate to talk to the media after that game, and of course somebody had to say something, and it was really Lenny Webster who did the talking for Baltimore. Not that he's not able to talk, but you would figure one of the guys,
one of the veteran guys,
you know, Ripken or whatever, would be the guy that would be the spokesperson, like David Tony is for the Yankees.
I think that's one of the reasons they brought Joe Carter in, because Joe Carter is a leader, kind of a Don Baylor type.
And to right field. Easy play for O'Neill, 1 gone. Well, we'll flash back to that terrible night here at the stadium when Benitez hits Tino and immediately ejected. We've seen it millions and millions of times. And then Benitez wants to challenge the whole Yankee ball club. And then you know what happened after that. And Tim Raines finally, after everybody was calmed down and they resumed the game, he promptly hits one into the stands. That really rubbed your nose in it. Mike Bordick sends one out into center field, and coming on is Curtis, so 2 gone here in the 3rd. Unlike Scott Erickson, David Cone is a fly ball pitcher and not a ground ball pitcher.
David Cone is a fly ball pitcher, Bobby, because he gets underneath a lot of balls and pitches up in the strike zone. It's one of the reasons he strikes out a lot of hitters. Usually strikeout pitchers are fly ball pitchers. That was a good breaking ball. And Bordikas got down and hit it off the end of the bat, a semi-line drive.
Robbie Alomar batting for the second time. He flied out to center field his first time up. Well, the Orioles will have some decisions to make on this ball club. They've got some free agents at the end of the year. They're basically out of the race here in the American League. What will they do with those guys? Will they trade some of them, or will they just let them go at the end of the year?
Those decisions might be made shortly after All-Star break. And I think they will try to trade and get best possible young players as they can.
Well, you mentioned the All-Star break. Immediately after the break, Baltimore 14.5 games back of Boston in the wild card race, but they start the second half against the Boston Red Sox. That may tell the story and the demise of Baltimore. Alomar strikes out. So Baltimore is gone. 1, 2, 3. No score here at the stadium.
Looking for real fireworks this 4th of July? Your Toyota dealer's July 4th celebration is bursting with holiday deals.
New York Yankees baseball is sponsored by Ford. Expect more, get more. Let your twice straight quality Ford dealer show you why there's more to afford. Big crowd on hand for this finale between Baltimore and New York. Yankees trying to sweep Baltimore. And Derek Jeter will lead it off for the Yankees here in the bottom of the third. He's 1 for 1 with a base hit in the first. But Derek Jeter not only has done the job at the plate, he has been solid defensively for New York. A great play yesterday going deep in the hole. A throw out an Oriole. And one thing about Derek Jeter is that not only has he become an idol here for New York and has played great baseball and is continuing to improve every day, every year, he loves the game. He just loves to play. Hornick makes a nice play on him to throw him out.
Bobby, I think that shows in his enthusiasm on the bench, at bat, in the field. It's fun to see people play ball when they enjoy what they're doing.
And selected to the first All-Star game of his career this season, so he will.
First of many.
First of many is right. Soho, this one down the right field line. Yankees have 5 All-Stars. And what really is incredible is the Yankees, with this historic run of theirs, 40 games over 500 at this point, they failed to produce one starter in the All-Star game. Possibly David Wells would have the only chance maybe to start the game, but I'm saying voted in by position player voted in by the fans. Now, I don't know if it has something to do. Obviously, it has something to do with the attendance here at Yankee Stadium. If you look at Jacobs Field and you look at Camden Yards, Baltimore has 2 position players, second base and third base, Ripken and Alomar. The Yankees averaging, 34,000. Baltimore averaging 44,000. Jacobs Field, if you take 80 games, or I don't know how many games they voted on for the All-Star game, you're talking about several 100,000 votes. This will be a base hit for Soho. Off of Erickson. So an infield hit for him, only the second by the Yankees.
This is another, that was a high nothing pitch right there. And I mean, that ball should have been hit harder than that. A little ground ball back up the middle. Erickson falling off the mound, couldn't get his glove on the ball, and Alomar couldn't get to it either.
You know what you like about Luis Soho? Joe Torre's mentioned it many, many times. He knows how to play baseball. You don't have to tell him. Paul O'Neill lifts one into left field. This will fall in front of Surhoff. Soho around second. He'll head for third, and he will make it. So the Yankees will have runners at first and third and only one out. Good heads-up running play by Soho. With the play in front of him, and that's what Joe Torre was talking about. He does not have that great speed, but he's got the instincts to be able to make up for that speed.
Last time up, O'Neill hit a ground ball to Ripken. This time he stayed right in on the ball, got it up into the left center field gap. And the reason Soho could take that is Surhoff was running across to his left, fielded the ball, and then had to make a reverse pivot to get the throw back to third base. And just that little extra time gave Luis Soho third base back.
All right, Tino Martinez now with a chance to drive in Soho at third. That pitch is down low. Tino walked in his first at bat. Tino with 66 RBIs on the year. That's it there now. It's a 1-1 count to Martinez. Tino with those 3 home runs and 10 or 11 RBIs this homestand so far. And that will be down the left field line. This could be trouble if it stays fair, and it's just beyond the foul pole. Now that was the opposite way. It's got enough distance to be a home run. It just curves foul.
Just lost speed, and the losing of the speed caused it to slice a little more foul. But that's a dangerous area down there for a pitcher. You get that ball up and you say, oh no, oh no. Believe me, I said I know enough out there. On a left-handed hitter, you throw a sinker down and away, and you try to backdoor him, and they just flick it out there.
Popped up right side. Will it stay in play? Webster, Palmeiro right in front of the Yankee dugout, not able to make the play. That is an easier play for Palmeiro, and I'm surprised he didn't call Webster off of it. He was there in plenty of time.
Palmeiro was there in plenty of time, but watch Webster look at. He looked at it way long before where the dugout was and never really got to the steps. If he gets over to the steps, it's a much easier play. But like you said, Bobby, Palmeiro was just standing there watching him. Maybe that's one of the reasons, you know, they're scuffling in 25 games out of first place. Plays like that. You give Martinez an extra strike.
An extra swing, and it could produce 3. Who knows? There goes O'Neill. The pitch is outside, and the throw is into second base, but not in time. The Yankees will take advantage of 2 situations here. Webster's arm, which is not very strong, but the high leg kick of Scott Erickson. And the Yankees lead the major leagues in stolen bases, 98 now.
Erickson has the high leg kick, and he's always had a high leg kick, and I'm surprised more runners don't steal on him. But he feels he's better off getting stuff to the plate than holding the base runner on and doing a slide step.
Well, that takes the double play out of order. And it's a 2-2 count coming to Martinez. All right, Jose. Now, he made the play. What a good play by Cardinal at first base. He's got all kinds of things on his hands. He's got those shin guards. There's a shin guard there. He made a one-handed play there. Nice play, Jose. And the fans let him know about it. Normally not able to make those plays. You know, he's got so many things in his hands and wristbands and pockets. Maybe it's a new haircut. I don't know. Wow, that'll keep the Yankee dugout alive. How in the world did you get around on that to pull the ball that far off to the right side? Hopefully it didn't hit somebody.
Slider down and in, and Tino just raked it in the dugout. You see guys starting to scatter, and it.
Poor Nelson's already on the disabled list with a bad back. That looked like one of my tee shots. Trying to get away from that kind of a hook. That pitch foul back and out of play, so Tino hanging tough off of Erickson.
Erickson obviously trying to pitch Martinez inside. If you're going to throw him inside, the dugout better Maybe go down a little more towards Joe Torre and Don Zimmer.
Maybe into the tunnel. Still only one out at a 2-2 count. First and third. Check that second and third now for the Yanks.
Yeah, he pitched around, or semi-pitched around Martinez in the first inning, walked him with a runner on base. And if I'm Scott Erickson, I wouldn't give him anything too good to hit right here. If you walk him to set up double play.
Swing and a miss on a quality pitch by Erickson. It looked like it was out of the strike zone, and Tino got a little bit anxious on swinging at that pitch, so 2 gone now.
Well, that's like I said, here's a 3-2 curveball, and you say, well, you don't normally throw that 3-2, but you don't want to give Tino Martinez a cookie right down there, and all of a sudden you're down 3-0.
So in that situation there, you got home run hitter up there, you got first base open, you got to make either the perfect pitch or walking.
And he made the perfect pitch.
So Tim Raines will try to pick up Martinez. And a strike 1 to Raines.
See that pitch right there? That was just a little like get over curveball. He did not have that pitch when he was with the Twins. Everything Scott Erickson threw with the Twins was hard. Sinker, slider, sinker, slider. And he's come up with that little bigger, slower breaking curveball.
A hit will produce a couple of runs for the Yankees. Good pitch by Erickson. Now he will work the front 1 and 2 on Raines with 2 outs.
Good sequence of pitches. Curveball, fastball inside, sinker away. If you follow that pattern, he's going to throw something hard inside, either a good hard slider like he threw Martinez or a fastball.
And it was a breaking ball inside and hard. You know, most of the times when you get the 2-pitch pitcher, the sinker, the breaking ball type guy, he just goes away with his sinker, and the only thing he throws inside is the breaking ball. And Erickson's not like that.
I think the best pitch when you're a sinker ball pitcher to the opposite hitter, right-handed pitcher, left-handed batter, is you throw the fastball inside that comes back over the plate.
The kind the hitter will give up on.
You see the ball inside, about 6-8 inches inside, and you kind of buckle in the middle, and then you tail it back. The best I ever saw that from a left-handed pitcher was number 16 here with the Yankees, Mr. Ford.
The chairman of the board. Boy, he could work you over. 3-2 count coming to Raines. I got to play some great shortstop behind Whitey Ford when he pitched here at Yankee Stadium.
You were like a young Derek Jeter, right?
Why, he told me he always would tell the manager, when I pitch, I want Mercer at short. 2 away for the Yanks with 2 men on. What are you laughing at?
Nothing. Nothing. That's okay.
So Raines holding tough on Erickson. Erickson has thrown quite a few pitches already in this game with 2 outs in the third. Soho still awaits at third, and so does O'Neill down at second.
Erickson throws a lot of pitches in ball games. He is a big, strong horse on the mound.
This will be his 64th pitch coming up. A 5-4. The bases are loaded again for the Yankees. This is the second time in this game. And I think it is, and it is the second time for Chad Curtis that he will come to the plate with the bases loaded.
Well, if you're sitting at home keeping score, you see that in the first inning, Erickson walked Martinez, then walked Raines. This time he struck out Martinez, but ended up walking Raines. And To me, what Scott Erickson's saying is, I would rather pitch to Chad Curtis with the bases loaded than give in to Tim Raines.
Chad struck out his last time up with the bases loaded. Erickson really in the prime of his career. He's only 30 years old. In his 9th year in the major leagues. Pitching coach Mike Flanagan now will go out to talk to Erickson.
And I think what he'll tell him is, hey, you know, you're trying to overthrow. When you try to overthrow, you rush, you spin out. That last pitch was a breaking ball that he just, his whole top half just spun out. And when you do that, your arm drags through. And your arm can't catch up, and it's slow. And all it can do is just stay high and spin.
Well, we talk about Baltimore's bad play here in the first half. Ray Miller, the pitching coach last year, he's now the manager, but two of the good 1-2 punches, Messina and Erickson, and this ball club is almost last in pitching in the American League. Holy cow. It caught Erickson. Check that, it caught Curtis. Inside. Soho will come on to score. Now, you got to hope that Curtis is not hurt badly on that hit pitch, and he is telling Gene Monahan, the trainer, to go back, that he's all right. He's a tough guy, but they're not going to take any chances, I don't think.
No, they just want to go out and check and make sure. And after Flanagan was to the mound, you see Erickson was underneath that pitch and trying to throw the ball inside and just spun out in the top.
That caught him, I think, on the elbow. Let's see if we can catch where it hits Curtis.
On the looked like on the upper arm.
Upper part of the arm, and it was a glancing blow. It wasn't one of those full shots to the arm. So
with the biceps and triceps that Mr. Curtis has, it might have sounded like an S2 up there.
Yeah. You and I'd be in the hospital, but he's all right. This is Ricky Leday now with the bases loaded.
You know, this young man won a ball game the other night with a base hit in extra innings, and he'll probably be down in the minor leagues shortly. But I tell you, he has contributed to the success of this ball club, and he can take a lot with him down there and just get a little better, and pretty soon you'll be seeing his name penciled in that lineup.
Swing and a miss on that one. Now it's 0-2. For a young player to finally come to the realization that you feel within your own heart that you belong here. You've been here, you've had a taste of it, and you know that you can perform. That's a big boost to them. He should be a much better player when he returns to Columbus, if he does. Swing and a miss there with the bases loaded. But the Yankees will pick up a run on a Curtis hit by pitch. So the Yankees will lead at 1-0. Susan Wallman will join us in the 4th inning. Stay with us. Brought to you by the Bell Atlantic Yellow Pages, live listed alphabetically. And we move to the top of the 4th inning. Susan Wallman joins us here. Beautiful day for baseball, Susan, and an incredible run for the Yankees. 40 games over 500.
Pretty amazing. 60 wins, and with a win today could be 61-20. Just unbelievable.
Well, this is Brady Anderson leading it off for Baltimore. Swings at the first pitch. And Derek Jeter will not let Leday have that one, so one gone here at the top of the 4th inning.
Brady Anderson, one of those veterans that they can't move, Bobby, just signed a 5-year deal. That means that when he is at the end of his deal, he will be 39 years old, so they're kind of stuck with him. An off year for Brady, batting .215.
Eric Davis will step in. I know you get a chance to analyze players, teams, etc. When you have a veteran ball club through only the first half of the season and you find yourself 25.5 games out of first place when you were expected to win, mentally, I mean, from Ray Miller's standpoint, it's got to be one of the toughest things he's going to have to do in the second half to keep these guys motivated.
I was talking to Rafael Palmeiro a couple of nights ago when they came in, and he said he thinks they've got a couple more weeks. There's Ray Miller right there to prove that they can get back in this thing. But they got 4 teams ahead of them. Never mind the Red Sox in Toronto. How about in the other division? Anaheim and Texas. Somebody's going to be second in that division. Palmeiro was offered a contract. There he is on deck. he isn't going to take that. He wants a 5-year deal also.
Hit hard into center field for a hit. So Davis with a 1-out base hit here in the 4th inning. Well, Palmeiro may get a 5-year contract, but you're saying it may not be with Baltimore.
Well, Baltimore has offered him a deal for 4 years, and he is probably going to turn that one down. Here's right over the middle of the plate, and if Eric Davis can extend those arms as he did right there, he's going to smash it somewhere, which he did into center field.
And a great story on Eric Davis. Of course, last year he battled colon cancer and has won that battle. And back playing baseball, we wish him the very best. And I know everything is pretty small compared to what he went through last year, no matter how far the Orioles are back.
And actually, he played right through those chemo treatments.
Yeah.
He would go and have a chemo treatment in the doctor's office, and the next day he would be DHing right out there.
Showed tremendous courage. And I think it was a tower of strength for his teammates to know that he was going through that, but he wanted to be there with the ball club and play.
I think that was a big part of what happened to the Orioles last year, was that if he can be going through what he's going through, how dare I sit out with a little hamstring or something.
And there goes Davis with the pitch, and it's lofted down the left field line. Tough play for Leday. Up against the wall, and he had it momentarily, and he drops it. Davis will be on his way to third. Going back to first, and then reversed, and got caught in between, and Leday made a perfect throw.
And, Bobby, that's one of the things you love about Ricky Leday. He drops the ball, but instead of saying, oh, my gosh, I made a mistake, he picks up that ball, a perfect strike to Dale Swain. That's why Torrey likes this kid, and that's why he's going to be a major leaguer one of these days, and a good one. See, he's got the ball right there, makes a great play. He knocks against the wall. It falls out of his glove, picks it up, has the presence of mind to make a perfect strike to Swain. Look at that. Terrific.
Yeah, that could have been a home run. This is B.J. Surhoff here. That ball, I think, was out of here. Or at least right up against
like
the top of the wall in left field. It certainly would have produced a run if he hadn't gotten some leather on it. Did they give him a base hit on that? That's a base hit. All right, a base hit, and then Leday throws a runner out at third. So Surhoff now with a no-ball, 2-strike count. Take another look at it.
All right, where's this ball? It's going to land. It is actually, oh, well, maybe it would have bounced on the top of that wall there, but it was pretty close.
And the runner will take off. The pitch is way up high. So Palmeiro, who doesn't have a whole lot of speed, steals his 6th base of the season. No chance for Girardi.
And every time you talk about the Baltimore Orioles veteran sort of playing at half speed, we're not talking about B.J. Surhoff, who is still there every single day, hitting early with hitting coach Rick Down. Batting .292.
Yeah, let's take a look at our Toyota box score for Baltimore. Only a couple of base hits, Davis and Palmeiro, but we're early in this game. Yankees lead it 1-0.
Surhoff, one of those 13 or 14 free agents that the Baltimore Orioles have. You know, you guys were making a good point before. Everybody's screaming and yelling to have Ripken sit down. Who's going to play third base?
Nobody.
They didn't take it that far.
No.
There's nobody in the minor leagues. Surhoff is probably the best third baseman besides Ripken off his team.
Well, they got a guy, Ryan Miner, I guess, would be. He's only playing in Double-A.
Right.
He's not even playing Triple-A baseball.
Good basketball player.
What a pitch by David Cone as he stuns Surhoff, striking him out here in the 4th with a man on. We've played 3.5 here at the stadium. Cone leads at 1-0.
Looking for real fireworks this 4th.
Bottom of the 4th coming up. New York leads at 1-0 over Baltimore. They are looking to get the broom out against this Oriole ball club. Dale Swain leads it off for New York. Groshus getting the day off. And Swain fouling that pitch back and out of play.
kind of a tough year for Dale Swain. He's only had 40 at-bats. I would imagine it's very difficult to get anything going with that.
Well, time to take a look at some of our out-of-town scores brought to you by Bud.
Brought to you by what?
Bud.
They're hitting off the wall.
Look
and
at those Red
it up.
Sox. Man, oh man.
That's Steve Avery pitching today, right?
Left field and fairly deep. Surhoff on the warning track. And as we mentioned, even though the wind is blowing from left field to right field, the ball will travel to left field as it swirls around here at the stadium.
Pitch by Erickson right over the middle of the plate. Swain just gets underneath it just a tiny bit. Gets Goodwood on it, but easy play for Surhoff.
J.J. started out as a catcher. Has played infield, now the outfield for the Orioles. And this is Joe Girardi, who's 0 for 1.
And they moved him, Milwaukee moved him to third, right? Then he played first base for a while. Now everyday left fielder.
Used to be a switch hitter, now he bats for the left side. And Girardi with a 2-hopper to Bordy. 2 gone. Well, Bernie Williams is on the disabled list. I think you had a chance to talk to Bernie, didn't you?
I did indeed. I did indeed. Bernie is going after the game down to, or maybe he's gone already. Do you see him down there? He was going today anyway, down to Tampa. 4 o'clock, okay.
The 4 o'clock plane to Tampa.
He's going to play with the Florida State Tampa Yankees against Clearwater tomorrow. He'll play about 6 innings. He's going to lead off, so he gets a lot of at-bats and play center field. And he'll do that tomorrow and Tuesday and possibly Wednesday. And if all goes well, he'll join the team in Tampa. Go across the river or whatever, the intercoastal.
2 outs with Jeter at the plate. I think Bernie yesterday after the game with Jose Cardinal was in the outfield sliding. I think that was exactly the only other test that they had not put him through, and he came through with flying colors on that. So they're very happy with the progress that Bernie has made.
He's still wearing that protective brace on that right knee. He's going to take that off when he goes down to Tampa, and he wants to be activated Thursday when the team starts the 4-game series against the Devil Rays. Joe said we'll take it a day at a time, but my guess is he'll be there.
2-1 pitch is fouled back on a play, so now it's 2-2 with 2 outs to Jeter. Have you ever seen a guy that is having more fun than Derek Jeter playing baseball?
Except for the 3 games when he came back off of the DL, when he said, I have no clue what I'm doing. Yeah, I've never seen anything like it. He sits and looks at tapes, wants to get better every day. He has that, you were talking about, that sparkle in his eye every single time up.
But also to be young and a Yankee and the kind of player that he is, and an idol now already here in New York amongst the young crowd. I mean, you see these, before the ball game, you see all these young teenage girls with Derek Jeter shirts on. I mean, they just want to get a glimpse at him.
That takes you back, right, Bobby? And they used to do that with you?
Yeah, really.
All those teenage girls with Bobby socks on?
Bobby socks, all right. No pun intended. Well, Derek Jeter with speed at first base, 15 stolen bases on the year, so Erickson will have to pay attention to him. The Yankees have taken advantage of that already. O'Neill with a stolen base. Hit hard, but run to Alomar. Oh, they forced Jeter at second. Yankees leave another man on. They've left 7 on in this game, but they lead it 1-0.
1-0. Nothing Yankees as Cal Ripken steps into the box. We have my quote of the week here. How about that from the manager of the Orioles? We've been run over by a truck. Is how
well, it should be. We've been run over by trucks.
Talking to Jimmy Key. People just don't know yet whether Jimmy's coming back or not. tough year for Ray Miller and for the Orioles and for this man, Cal Ripken.
Ripken fouling the first pitch off the mask of Girardi. You know, speaking of Jimmy Key, the Yankees, when they let Jimmy Key go, they were suspect of the fact that maybe Jimmy wasn't strong enough and could possibly break down within the next 2 or 3 years.
That's exactly right. And Jimmy wanted a 2-year deal. The Yankees would have given him a 1-year deal and then see what happens. And so in essence, it was a trade for Jimmy Key for David Wells. And though Jimmy Key very popular with everybody, it looks like the Yankees made the right decision.
Inflamed rotator cuff for Jimmy Key. A 1-1 count for Ripken, who's 0 for 1.
You always wonder, Bobby, how you know whether somebody's just having an off year or whether he's slipping a little bit. I mean, you look at Ripken at third base, he isn't making the same kinds of plays that he made a few years ago, but who is? And it's got to be a fine line between telling somebody to take a rest or just say you're having an off year. Nobody's hitting in that lineup.
No, nobody's hitting, but Cal Ripken will tell you that he is not the same guy that he was when he was 26, 27, 28 years old. 2,566 games will slow anybody down. I don't care how big and strong you are. Hits that one hard and past Jeter into left field for a base hit. Ripken, who has been in a bit of a slide, has a leadoff base hit here in the 5th inning.
Ripken gets around on this ball, which is right over the middle of the plate, past the diving glove of Jeter and Swaim there. Ripken really is the only one on this Baltimore team, Bobby, that can lead. He is the leader, and he's kind of a quiet guy and chooses not to lead. I know Joe Carter was brought over maybe for some veteran leadership, but the only member of this Baltimore Oriole team that can lead is the one who's staying on first base, and that's Cal Ripken.
Got to be a disappointment, I think, for Joe Carter, because he signed with the Orioles not only because of the influence of Pat Gillick, but he thought that he would have a chance to go to the postseason, maybe the World Series with Baltimore, add some power from the right side, some veteran leadership, as you were talking about. None of that has happened.
And it all started with the injury to Mike Mussina. I mean, the 3 of their 5 starters have been out for much of the year, and that's Mussina, Key, and Kamenicki. And Erickson has been the horse, as you said. They got the kid Sidney Ponson in there, and they've been trying to make do. Doug Johns has had a couple of starts. That's very difficult to overcome.
Well, we know where Baltimore is in the race in the American League Eastern Division. This is the wild card race. Not even close.
They're even behind the Minnesota Twins.
Yeah. They're 14.5 games out coming into today's game. So that's a mighty ladder to have to climb.
So as you were saying earlier, I wouldn't be surprised if after those games with the Boston Red Sox, if they're really out of it, you start seeing bodies flying out of this clubhouse.
Maybe even the general manager, Pat Gillick.
There are rumors of Pat maybe ending up in Colorado.
That'll be foul back on a play. I don't think it's any secret that Angelos and Gillick don't see eye to eye on a lot of baseball type talk.
Yeah, that's putting it very nicely. That was very well done. Yeah, and Pat Gillick has been a respected baseball man for many, many years. That Peter Angelos owns the team.
Outside for ball 3, 3, and 2 on Carter.
And you saw Cone disgusted with himself there on that play as it hit the dirt and made Girardi move. One thing we have seen with Cone, though, he's been a little while, Bobby, but he hasn't walked anybody. And that's been something that we've seen from Cone the last 3 or 4 starts. Hardly any walks at all.
Into shallow center field. Could be a tough play. There's Soho back on the grass. He makes the play. So 1 gone. Well, when the ball goes up, you know, all the players begin to converge in that area, and then you got to have some people that can take control.
See, now, Louis not only yelling, he was waving Curtis off there. Look at his right arm, because that's how you get in collisions. So not only was he yelling, he did the right thing by waving that right arm for Curtis to stay back.
Actually hollering at Jeter and then waving to Curtis to say, "I've got it." And I don't think Curtis could have gotten there anyway.
Right, Soho and Jeter almost had a collision the other day, and they were having a discussion on who was going to yell. And I guess whoever yells the loudest is the one that takes it.
Lenny Webster takes one outside for a ball. Webster 0 for 1, flied out to right field, his first time up. Yeah, you were talking about the leadership, the quiet leader, Cal Ripken, who really doesn't like to talk too much. When we had the incident here, Tommy and I were talking about Lenny Webster being the spokesperson.
The only one who talked.
Yeah.
He didn't even play the game.
I know it.
Well, the other thing is that he's that kind of a man, and I guess in the final game when the Orioles got beaten by Cleveland last year, it was Lenny Webster who was standing in the middle of the clubhouse answering all the reporters' questions. Everybody else had disappeared.
There goes Ripken. He got a walking, running jump towards first base, or towards second base. Ripken, who has not stolen the base this year, he's 0 for 2. And immediately Martinez out to talk to David Cone, saying even though Ripken is standing on the bag as you are winding up, he is walking heavily and hurriedly towards second base, so he's getting a walking and running lead. Pay attention to him. Hard and deep into left field. It'll be over the head of Ledee, off the wall in left. Ledee with the throw back into the infield. Ripken will be held up at third. And a one-out double by Webster. Runners at second and third now for Baltimore.
You see Girardi setting up right over the middle of the plate, and that's where the ball is. It's up a little bit, and Lenny just turns on this one over Ledee's head right off the top of the Kodak sign. Ledee picks it up, a nice throw in there. And Ripken really not running very, very quickly, which is why he didn't even have a chance to score on that one.
So the infield now will come in with one out, and the ninth place hitter, Mike Bordick, stepping in. Breaking ball outside. Bordick is hitless in his last 12, so he's 0 for 12 and leads the American League with sacrifice bunts.
Something which he did a lot when he played with the Oakland A's. Tony La Russa always said Bordick was his favorite player to manage.
That's over for a called strike. Now it's 1-1. I think he may change his mind now with Mark McGwire doing the job at St. Louis. Or at least maybe he could be swayed a little bit. Yeah, okay.
Different kind of player.
Okay.
Bunt for you. Play a great shortstop.
Swing and a miss, strike 2, 1-2. 3 breaking balls to Bordick so far.
Breaking pitch up and outside.
Cone with 3 strikeouts for the game. He'd like to make it 4 right here. Off the end of the bat, shallow center field. May not be far enough to score. Ripken. Curtis with the throw. Not even going to try. You talk about some quick hands. It looked like he was trying to turn a double play in the outfield.
It really was. I was waiting for that flip that Curtis usually does in center field. Coming in, going to take that throws right to home plate to Girardi. What a throw. Oh, Ripken would have been a dead duck. See, this is what George Steinbrenner saw when he played in Anaheim. Those flips. There it is, that flip, when he threw out Mattingly at the plate in Anaheim.
Joe Torre will tell you that George Steinbrenner very influential in bringing Chad Curtis to the Yankees. And that trade for David Weathers. Roberto Alomar will try to do it. And strike 1 to Alomar. He's 0 for 2.
There were actually 3 players that the Yankees were interested in. Mike Devereaux, Wayne Kirby, and Chad Curtis. And Mr. Steinbrenner actually is the one who remembered, said, isn't that the guy who threw out Mattingly at the plate from Anaheim, and that's why Chad Curtis is an Yankee? True story.
I believe it. Thank heavens Mr. Steinbrenner had a good memory. What a job Curtis has done for this ball club. I think George celebrated his birthday yesterday, didn't he?
Yes, he did. America, George Steinbrenner.
Independence Day, America.
John Sterling's birthday was yesterday.
Oh, it was.
Yeah,
Huh?
I think Peter Angelos' birthday was yesterday. Do you think these people made up these birthdays?
All on the July the 4th?
Yeah.
You got to be kidding me.
No.
Look at that.
Look at that. That was brought to the booth. That's for having the best first half. Look at that kid.
Jimmy Bersetti taking care of us. We didn't do a thing. And it's a 1-ball, 2-strike count to Alomar with 2 men out, 2 men on for Baltimore here in the 5th inning on a beautiful afternoon for baseball. Big crowd on hand, too. They will get into this pitch with a couple of men on. Tried the backdoor him, just missing.
Cone wanted that one. You could see with the body language.
How about that one? Alomar gave up on it, and it broke right over the middle of the plate. Strikeout number 4 for Cone, and the Yankees lead it 1-0. Sponsored by Jeep, the most awarded winning brand of 4x4s on earth. What does that bat say? What's that bat say?
Brad Spat.
Brad Spat.
I don't know what that is.
I don't either. I've heard of a brat.
That's
Not
Milwaukee.
of a brat bat.
We don't go to Milwaukee
That's a
anymore.
brat word, yeah. Nevertheless, look at this crowd. What a big crowd the Yankees have on hand here for this final game to wipe out the first part of 1998.
What a first half this has been. A magical first half.
Paul O'Neill will lead it off for the Yanks. Erickson with 80 pitches, and that pitch will be a souvenir for somebody down the left field line. O'Neill 1 for 2 with a stolen base. Now when you talk about O'Neill from an offensive standpoint, you got to put professional hitter. He does so many things well mechanically at the plate, but sometimes he looks so bad when he swings the bat. But the best thing that Paul O'Neill does, he keeps his hands back. You know, he may be way out in front a lot of times, but he keeps the hands back. Hits that one hard, and Palmeiro will turn it into an out.
Well, every week we have a story of the week, a player of the week, and a quote of the week. And the story of the week has to be this first half. 60-20, fourth team in Major League history to start the season with this record. And Bobby, think back on the coast in April, 1-4. People actually writing articles. How long would it be before Joe Torre got fired?
How about that? Tino Martinez stepping in. And with the win today, the Yankees would tie the Major League record for the most wins in the first 81 games of a season. Their record would be 61-20. Another strike to Martinez. Now it's 0-2.
Tino had been struggling since he was hit on the back from that pitch from Armando Benitez. He said he felt fine, but sometimes you compensate with that swing when you're not feeling all that well.
You know, and believe it or not, the Yankees have actually lost 6 games here at Yankee Stadium here in '98.
What a homestand Tino Martinez has had. He is our player of the week. And that's all in the homestand. 7 for 23, 3 home runs, and 9 RBIs. Even with that slide, still leads the team in homers and RBI.
Well, you've been busy, Susan. Got the quote of the week, the player of the week,
All in the last minute and a
saying
half.
of the week,
Right, I'm done.
and
I'll
the
go
week
have some cake.
in the week in review.
As long as we don't have to go through all of the weeks from the beginning of
No
the
wonder
year.
you get paid the big bucks. That'll be out of play off to the left side. Yankees lead at 1-0 with one out here in the bottom of the 5th inning.
We were talking to Joe Torre about Tino the other day, and he said he had a talk with him, trying to calm him down and telling him not to be so hard on himself and maybe giving him a couple of tips.
Tino saying he was a little bit too anxious at the plate. He has calmed down a bit, but he strikes out here. That's the second strikeout for Tino.
So we asked Joe if Tino listened to him, and Joe goes, no, he didn't. Swings right over the top of that breaking pitch.
Raines, who has walked his first 2 times up. Well, we've got a little bit of a conversation, I think, going on in the Yankee dugout. Maybe, I'm not sure. I don't think they like that second strike call that Kaiser called on Martinez, and one was kind of a borderline pitch down low and away.
Ken Kaiser is a very sensitive sort. He hears everything.
Well, most of the umpires do, and they've got a difficult job. There's no doubt about that. But I for sure, yesterday they blew that call.
That was
a blatant call that was very controversial. They could have asked for help, but they didn't. Anderson, a long run for him. He will get there to make the catch as he hits the turf here at Yankee Stadium. So Anderson robs Raines of a base hit, but we play 5, and the Yankees lead at 1-0.
Here at Yankee Stadium, Tommy John and Susan Waldman. Yankees leading 1-0. The Orioles will send up Brady Anderson, Eric Davis, and Rafael Palmeiro here in the top of the 6th. Brady Anderson was hit by a pitch in the 1st inning and pop up to Jeter in the 4th. He's batting .214, 9 homers and 31 ribbies on the year. There's a line shot into right field. O'Neill will go get this one. Brady has a lot of speed, but with that arm, he's not even going to try.
I think he thought about it, and then he said, nah, better not. Paul's got just too good of an arm. You don't want to run yourself into an out like Eric Davis did at third base. And that's good baseball right there, cutting the ball off, and then throwing a bullet to Jeter.
He does have one of the best arms in the league. Brady Anderson knew that, and is still probably fighting some of those injuries, Tommy, that he had at the beginning of the year.
Brady Anderson plays the game, Susan, the way you like to see it played. He plays it like a Derek Jeter. He plays the game hard. Last inning made the inning-ending catch with a diving ball in left center field. It's the way you're supposed to play it.
Foul back and first pitch to Eric Davis. Davis is 1 for 2 on the afternoon. He struck out in the 1st inning, single to center in that 4th. He's thrown out at third base on that great play by Ricky Leday. Davis and Darryl Strawberry, childhood friends, grew up together, still very, very close, talk to each other all the time. There's a pop-up. Jeter guarding his eyes there, getting underneath it, and he's got it for the first out. In that 4th inning, here's that catch. It really might have been even a home run, Tommy, but instead of Ricky Leday feeling sorry for himself for messing up that play, what a strike to swing, huh?
Susan, I was talking to Joe Torre before the game, and I said, I don't recall Ricky Leday being that good of an outfielder. He said, Tommy, he has worked his fanny off. He has really worked hard down at Columbus. And, you know, he'll probably be sent down again, but he can take a lot with him. And the coaches and Joe Torre should sit there and say, hey, you contributed to the welfare of this ball club. Take it with you and improve so the next time we call you up, you won't be sent down.
What Joe Torre had Ricky Leday do, and what he did, Tommy, was go to winter ball last year, and he played center field all year. And he said it really helped him. There's another pop-up in the infield. Swaim getting under this one, and there's 2 outs. Palmeiro kicks the dirt there, very disgusted with himself on that one.
Rafael Palmeiro did not have the count in his favor, and he swung at a pitcher's pitch, a big old slow curveball, and that's not what Rafael Palmeiro wanted to do.
And you could see by the look in his face, Tommy, that he knew he missed that one. Look at him throw that bat.
He just swung at David Cohn's pitch, and he just sat there and flipped the bat down knowing that he had been had.
You're talking about players that know how to play the game, and here's one right here. B.J. Surhoff from Rye, New York.
I think he was born at Montefiore Hospital here in the Bronx.
Well, I don't know him that well to ever have asked him.
Well, he was born in the Bronx.
Okay. Inside for a ball to B.J.
And schooled at North Carolina. Down there with Scott Bradley. Scott Bradley, ex-Yankee player.
Scott's coaching now somewhere, right?
Princeton University.
That's right. That's what I thought. 1-0 count to B.J. Surhoff. The Yankees lead at 1-0. We're in the top of the 6th. There goes Brady. No throw as Girardi can't handle that pitch. Brady Anderson gets the stolen base.
Brady Anderson got his 3rd stolen base on the day. And he got a pretty good pitch. David Cohn has adjusted his leg kick on the mound with guys on base, and I think Susan in the 4th or 5th inning, that's what caught him, or that got him into trouble. He changed his motion, especially with Cal Ripken on base. You don't have to do anything with Rip on the base. I mean, he's not going to steal, maybe hit and run, but David has the high leg kick. The runners do take liberties with him. But the guy with the stick at home plate can do more damage than Brady Anderson.
See, now that's what I was just going to ask you. It's a 2-0 count to B.J. Surhoff. Why is he watching Brady Anderson? There's 2 outs here. Just get the guy at the plate.
Last inning, I drew a circle. Joe Carter was hitting. Runner at second base. He threw home, started home while he was still looking at second base. It just doesn't make any sense. Concentrate, 2 out. Get the guy at the plate. Brady Anderson can steal second, can steal third, and he won't steal home.
Now, as a pitcher, how difficult is it to do that? If somebody's, Brady's walking back and forth, he's talking, is it hard to not to get your focus there?
No, when you got somebody on second base can steal.
2-1 count to B.J. He fouls it off.
David gave him that little hesitation, turn back to second base. If Brady Anderson took off, now watch this right here. Watch him he's looking back and he kind of turns back. That wasn't bad. Against Joe Carter, he started home, still looking back at second base.
2-2 the count to Surhoff. Brady Anderson at second. 2 out here, top of the 6th. $50,000 people thought that was a strike.
But there was only one that counted. The big guy in blue back at the plate, and that was a pretty good pitch. He got Alomar in the 5th inning on a backdoor curveball. Just didn't quite get the door shut.
Grounder to Soho. Over to Tino for the final out, and Cohn gets out of it. So after 5.5, 1-0 Yankees, and we'll be right back. As Chad Curtis steps in against Scott Erickson, it'll be Curtis Leday and Dale Swaim. Yankees lead this one 1-0. 1-1-3 hits for the Yankees. No runs, 5 hits for the Orioles. Strike on the outside part of the plate to Curtis. Curtis struck out in the 1st inning and was hit by a pitch in the 3rd.
Susan, this game was built as a pitcher's duel, much like Friday night's game between Mussina and Pettit, and these pitchers have not disappointed.
Kind of a strange strike 2 call by Ken Kaiser there on the outside part of the plate. Erickson, you were talking about it when he's in Minnesota. I don't know how anybody ever gets a hit off.
I'm telling you, the guy has tremendous stuff.
Same part of the plate again. Over to Palmeiro for the first out. Hey fans, the Yankees have introduced a special ticket offer. Purchase 4 tickets to any 10 remaining regular season home games. And if the Yankees reach the postseason, you will have the opportunity to purchase 4 bleacher seats to 1 game of each postseason series. Mail or fax your order today to 718-588-0715. For information, call 718-293-6000 or stop by the season sales office Monday through Friday, 9 to 5. Offer ends September 4th. As Leday fouls the first pitch back.
One of the problems Scott has later on in the game, 7th, 8th, and 9th inning, as the speed on his fastball starts to drop, he'll, instead of going with it, because that's when a sinker baller really pitches at his best, he'll try to muscle up and throw it harder and keeps the ball up.
So, that's exactly what he did right there. Straight fastball right over the middle of the plate that Leday fouled back. 0-2 the count on the young rookie, Ricky Leday. He's 0 for 2 today. Inside part of the plate. Ricky will probably be sent back at the end of this week, and when Bernie comes out, this is probably his last game at the stadium for a while.
Low hit total for Scott Erickson. He leads the league in base hits at 156, 159 now, and that's a lot of base hits for a guy with that kind of stuff.
He's pitching to Leday, Tommy, in a dangerous part of the plate. They're all waist high.
Well, you don't want to pitch left-handers inside in Yankee Stadium unless you make sure that it is off the plate inside. If you miss, it's going to be in the seats.
1-2 count. Swung a little early, goes in the dugout?
Yes.
It's the second time.
It was a ball was after Derek Jeter. Ball just hunts him down, whether he's at shortstop or on the bench.
He's yelling right now, "You're trying to kill me, man." 1-2 count to Ricky Leday. There's that great sinker right there. The strikeout for the second out.
This is a nasty pitch. Watch the ball go straight down, and it short hop Lenny Webster. He had to step out and go a little 2-3. Ricky Leday hustling down to first base.
Dale Swaim 0 for 2 on the afternoon. This is a tough spot. This is a guy who got used to playing almost every day, has had 42 at-bats all year, and his average reflects that right now. 0-1. He says, Tommy, he's tried everything. You try and take extra batting. You try and, unless you're playing a game and get a rhythm going. He's got that big, long swing. It's very, very difficult.
It's one thing to take extra batting practice with the batting practice pitchers throwing to you. When you're in the game and you've got to face the Scott Ericksons and Mike Mussinas and people like that, it's a different story.
2-1 the count to Dale Swaim. Bottom of the 6th, 1-0 Yankees. Foul off to the left side.
Really, Dale Swaim might be better off to get somebody out there and have them throw to him as if he's in a ball game. Knock him down, change up to get him into that mode of being pitched to instead of batting practice.
2-2 count. There's a shot into right field. That is going to be off the wall. Swaim makes the turn at first and wisely decides to stay there. Joe Carter, a perfect strike to second base.
Joe Carter was probably in the clubhouse watching Paul O'Neill make his throw into second base, and he said,
so?
Well, we were just talking about Dale Swaim being in a tough spot, and he got a breaking ball about thigh high inside half of the plate. And he just missed a home run. The ball hit about halfway up on the wall right for the whiz. And I tell you.
That was a good shot. It's got some pop in that bat. That brings Joe Girardi to the plate. 2 out. There's a little lofting shot. That'll be by Alomar. Alomar's going to pick that up. Swaim will go to third. Runners at first and third with 2 out here in the bottom of the 6th inning, and that'll bring up Derek Jeter.
Well, Dale Swaim rifled one off the right field wall for a single, and Joe Girardi hit one about 105 feet for a single. Really got jammed on that ball, but got it out over Rafael Palmeiro's head.
Now, he'll say that's a perfect inside-out swing, right? I know exactly what I was doing. And here comes Ray Miller out.
Ray Miller normally would not take a pitcher out in this spot. And I didn't see him signal.
So they're discussing what? 2 out, how to pitch to Jeter, or who's covering what? Or
I think he's telling Scott Erickson the same thing. Don't muscle up. Don't try to throw the ball 110 miles an hour. Throw your good hard sinker, pitch out in front, and get Derek Jeter out.
Well, with the lefty in the pen, there's Arthur Rose. You've got the lefties coming up, O'Neill and Kino coming up in a little while after Jeter and Soho, if they get that far. Derek Jeter is batting .377 with runners in scoring position.
That's about 3/4 of the Yankee ball club is hitting in the upper threes.
Right. Which is probably why they're 60-20.
You got that's exactly right.
All those years of talking to you with a microphone, I learned all that.
Yeah.
0-1 to Derek Jeter. Swaim on third, Girardi at first. 26 RBIs with runners in scoring position by the young shortstop. 0-1 count. A little bit high in the breaking pitch. 1-1. Now, if I were Erickson, I wouldn't keep anything up in the zone like that.
It's much easier to handle, and plus his best pitch is the sinker. But you want to try to throw Derek Jeter inside to take away his inside-out swing.
Fastball on the outside part of the plate.
And you saw Derek there go out on the front foot, looking for the ball out on the plate. And if you throw him out there, now that's not saying that you can't pitch him out there, but when I've got runners on first and third, I would have to throw him a sinker down around his right shoe top and hope that he would swing over the top of the ball.
1-2 the count to Jeter. Set up outside again. Did he go? No. He's not listening to you, Tony.
Now that's nasty pitch right there. That's a good hard slider. Good hard slider, and Derek Jeter just barely held up. Good call by Greg Kosk down at first base.
2-2 the count to Jeter. Girardi at first, Swaim at third. 2 out here, bottom of the 6th.
Now watch the middle. Watch it buckle right there. He's looking for a fastball and then gets the breaking ball, and you see the upper part of the body. That is what a pitcher wants to do. I mean, if you can do that to a hitter, the guy may get a base hit, but Susan, you have done exactly what you're supposed to do. Then it's just up to fate.
Well, scouting reports last year on Derek Jeter, keep it on the outside part of the plate, make him go fishing for it. Hasn't worked this year. There's a grounder over to Alomar, to Palmeiro, and no damage done for Scott Erickson. So at the end of 6, it is 1-0 Yankees. We go to the top of the 7th. Sitting here at Yankee Stadium, just a gorgeous day. A full stadium, 1-0 Yankees, top of the 7th. Chuck's birthday is actually on Tuesday. Happy birthday, Chuck. Chuck Knobloch, in case you wonder why he's not in the lineup, just a rest. He jammed his knee the other day, but he says he's fine. Actually, he was fine yesterday, but Torrey said, well, give him another couple of days. Then the All-Star break. He plays hard, this guy.
That's where Joe Torre is very smart. And being a player that played a lot of games, knows that if you give a guy a couple of days rest, then you come up with an off day or the All-Star break, you're revitalized.
There's a fly ball. Paul O'Neill underneath it for the first out, and that was Cal Ripken. David Cohn's still out there. So O'Neill goes back out. Now let's check out the Wiz out of town scores. 11-6, Boston and Chicago. That wall is getting a workout today. Cleveland over Kansas City. Minnesota beating Detroit 3-2. 1-1 tie in Toronto after 8. That brings up Joe Carter. He was Toronto's all-time home run leader with 203. Batting .256 and 9 homers and 28 RBIs on the year for the Orioles. We were talking before, Tommy. This is not what Joe Carter expected when he signed with the
Ball
Braves.
into left center field. Oh, that's going to be trouble. Jeter back and drops the ball. Looked like he had a beat on it. We've seen him make that play so often. That sun is very tough out there in short left field. Carter on it first.
Derek Jeter did have the ball, and it looked like he wanted to catch the ball over his face and then put his glove down in the basket catch.
Looks like it went right between the glove and his hand right there.
Derek Jeter, I think, truthfully, if the play had been tougher, he would have had a better chance to make it. It was almost, you're back there and you're anticipating it to be so tough, and then the ball's there and you just misjudge it.
And that is scored a hit. That brings up Lenny Webster. Lenny batting .259 on the year, 5 homers and 20 RBIs. He's 1 for 2 today, had a double in the 5th inning.
When he got the double, that was when David Cone was in that thing of trying to slide step, trying to look at Cal Ripken at first base, and he threw Lenny Webster. It looked like about a chin-high fastball, and he just whacked it down that left field line.
As Cone throws over to first. Low 1 pitch is a strike, about waist high. 0-2 to Lenny Webster.
Saw Lenny Webster give up on that curveball. David is throwing that sidearm curveball, starting it at the hitter, and then it's breaking over the plate. And you've got to have a lot of courage to stay in, because you may guess wrong and catch a fastball, and then all of a sudden you're on your fanny.
0-2 count to Webster. Joe Carter at first base, 1 out here, top of the 7th, 1-0 Yanks. And there's a grounder right back to Cone, over to Jeter for 1, back to Tino, double play, and Cone gets out of it. Holding Carter on, he certainly couldn't go in with a good slide. 1-0 Yankees, we go to the bottom of the 7th.
Solely for the private, non-commercial use of our audience. Any publications, reproductions, retransmissions, or other use of the pictures, descriptions, and accounts of this game without the express written consent of the New York Yankees and WPIX is prohibited.
Bottom of the 7th inning here at Yankee Stadium. 1-0 Yankees. Scott Erickson and David Cone in a beauty. Louis Soho fouls the first pitch back that he sees from Scott Erickson. Soho batting .188, has 4 RBIs on the year. He's 1 for 3 this afternoon. Had a single past Alomar. 0-1 count in the dirt and outside for a ball. Soho is a very good, steady utility man. Isn't hitting a lot this year, but his defense has been exactly what Joe Torre needs when there's an injury either to Knobloch or to Derek Jeter. Staying on the outside part, missing again for a ball. Ex-Yankee Alan Mills and lefty Arthur Rhodes out there warming up. There's a strike.
Susan, like you were saying, Soho is the perfect utility man. Absolutely perfect. Play any spot on the infield, maybe go back to the plate.
Never complains. There's a grounder over to Bordick, over to Palmeiro for the first out. As we reflect on this first half, how about O'Neill's homer against the Mets, Tommy? That was a great, great series. The whole city stopped for an entire weekend. What a shot that was. Look at Zimmer. Zimmer was the first one who knew that was a home run. Everybody else waited.
I tell you, Don Zimmer has seen it all.
Line drive left field, base hit for Paul O'Neill. That's his second hit of the afternoon. See, that's what you love about O'Neill, Tommy. He just takes the ball where it's pitched and just goes right with it.
With a sinker ball pitcher, you cannot try to pull the ball unless he gives you something to pull slow and inside. Look at that right there. Perfect.
Perfect. Head down.
Firm front side, up on your back toe. When I teach hitting, I tell kids to try to think of squishing a bug with your back foot. to get up on that back toe.
That was Scott Erickson's 116th pitch, Tommy.
Piece of cake. He throws a lot of pitches.
He does.
He throws a lot of pitches, but he's a big, strong guy.
He's been a godsend to them. Can't imagine where they'd be without him. Pretty bad as it is. Brings up Tino Martinez. He's struck out twice today against Erickson and walked in the first inning. 14 homers, 66 RBIs. Want to know the count to Tino. O'Neill does not get back and picks him off.
Look, Paul was just a little bit off on that front foot, trying to take a little liberty on Scott Erickson's high leg kick. And Erickson, with quick feet, threw it to first base.
There's a single up the middle by Tino Martinez. And it looked like on that slide, trying to get back to the bag time, you just see O'Neill trying to get in with his hand. He saw that if he went in with his foot, Rafi was right there.
He's rubbing his neck, and did you see right there? He was doing that as he came back, and almost like he like popped his neck trying to get back to first base.
They'll bring up Tim Raines. He's walked twice today and lined out to Brady Anderson. Foul back for a strike.
This is a good time right here. I tell you, a run, Susan, would look very, very good to the Yankees right now with 6 outs to go.
2 outs, Tino Martinez at first base. Tim Raines, the batter. Scott Erickson actually gets tougher to hit, Tommy, because that sinker gets heavier, yes?
Well, he gets tougher in the latter innings. But the thing that happens to him, and this is what Ray Miller and I were talking about, I said, you know, Erickson's got unhittable stuff. He said, but Tommy, when he looks, especially at Baltimore, you know, that's the only ballpark in the league that has the radar gun readings on the wall. You'll see it 93, 94, 95 miles an hour. Then in about the 7th, 8th inning, you'll start to see it go down to 90, 91. Well, that's still good fastball and a good sinker, but Scott will try to muscle the ball and get his speed back up, and that's when he gets underneath it and it flattens out.
0-2 pitch from Erickson. Strike 3. Raines not exactly sure about that, nor were we. But at the end of 7, it's still 1-0 Yankees. We'll be right back. Bobby Mercer will be right back.
Tonight, when Kramer picks a fight on a golf outing, lies, deception, guilt, and yes, perhaps even murder are all par for the course. Plus, Jerry discovers his new love secret past with Newman. And just when you think ordering a salad is easy, George Costanza does things the hard way. That's all coming up tonight on Seinfeld, right here on the WB11. And we relate to the golf for sure about that. Mike Bordick leads it off for the Baltimore Orioles here in the 8th inning. Bobby Mercer. Check that.
That's Rich Becker, pinch hitting for Bordick.
Thank you very much. Becker hitting for Bordick here, leading off in the 8th inning. Bobby Mercer along with Tommy John. Yankees leading it 1-0, and David Cone has been in control the whole game. David wanting to win his 12th game. That would tie him with the most wins in the American League with Aaron Seeley of Texas. He has fallen behind 3-1 on Becker. Mike Buddy and also Arabu warming up in the Yankee bullpen. But Cone comes back on the 3-1 pitch to get Becker to ground out. 1 gone here in the 8th.
Now the people are saying, well, why Arabu? Many managers on this all-star break Sunday will give starters who are going to be pitching later on next week a chance to maybe pitch an inning or an out or so. I don't think that he would do it in a 1-0 ball game, but he's out there throwing. If he's needed, he's there. If not, he's got his work in, and he's ready to pitch down in Tampa.
Arabu, who has struggled his last 4 outings. This is Alomar. First pitch swinging, and Unassisted play by Martinez. 2 gone here in the 8th for Baltimore. But Arabu, after his last outing, got into a bull session, talking session with Joe Torre and Mel Stottlemyre. Maybe they, since that's fresh in his mind, maybe they want to get him out here. I don't know.
You know, I think maybe they might get him in had the game been like 7-2 or something, but in a 1-0 ball game, I kind of want my guy out there that's brought me to the dance this far.
I think I'll go with you, TJ. Brady Anderson takes a breaking ball in for a called strike. Well, Torrey Stottlemyre say that there's nothing wrong with Arabu's arm. Physically, he's all right, even though the velocity is down a bit. But mentally, he's overdoing it.
Well, mentally, he may be overdoing it. Physically, David Cone is not overdoing it. Boy, he's had a good breaking ball all day long. The Laredo and then the one that he gets on top of.
No balls, 2 strikes to Anderson. And the breaking ball just misses.
That was just fractionally, microscopically high. That ball is a strike.
And that was inside. That'll leave the count up at 2-2. 6 hits by Baltimore. And a couple of men on in the 4th inning did not score. They left a couple of men on in the 5th inning. Tough season for Ray Miller. And that will be out of play. 97 pitches now thrown by David Cone. And we're 2 outs here in the 8th. Lined in right field for a 2-out base hit by Anderson. So Brady becomes the tying run on at first base. That'll bring up Eric Davis. Well, we have a moment, and we'll take a look at this first. Go ahead, TJ.
That was a hanging breaking ball, and boy, would David Cone like to get the call that he missed on the 0-2 pitch, and that ball just stayed right on the upper part of the strike zone. Brady Anderson, that's as good a stroke as he's had in 2 or 3 days now.
Well, with some speed now on at first base, of course, every pitch when you get into the 8th and 9th innings, you're only leading by 1, becomes very important because one swing of the bat. There goes Brady. And Girardi's throw is, he just didn't have a hold of it. In fact, I think David Cone got in his way. It appeared that...
I think the ball hit David Cone.
Did it? Did it hit David Cone? It looked like it may have gotten away from Girardi.
But Brady Anderson was going to go on the first pitch. David could have thrown the ball over, stepped off, but he was going to go first pitch. That ball was, if it didn't hit him, it shaves a couple of his whiskers right on the right side of his face.
He did duck, but now it becomes 4 stolen bases for Baltimore against the Yankees this afternoon. And the tying run down at second.
Well, and Eric Davis is a tough hitter. You know, you can throw him a perfect pitch, and he's got that funky-looking swing and go out there and just flick the bat at it.
Big swing there.
That's where you like to pitch Eric Davis, right up in that zone, and hope that he swings at it. You know, David gets down on that back leg, kind of a semi-drop and drive, and then shoots the ball uphill. And when he gets it up in that zone, it's hard to hit.
Adage swinging at a breaking ball out of the strike zone, but Davis stays alive by fouling it back. Well, Davis just kind of stands there like a cobra, and then all of a sudden he strikes at it.
Well,
not a whole lot of movement.
He has his feet close together, and then he'll take his stride, and that he reached for a breaking ball. Looks for this ball to be up and in.
Well, it's up. And out of the strike zone, and it's 2-2 now on Davis. Davis, the right-handed batter. Palmeiro waiting on deck, the dangerous left-handed bat for Baltimore. Off the end of the bat into left field. Easy play for Leday. Another quality pitch by David Cone. The Orioles are gone here in the 8th. They lead it 1-0. The bottom of the 8th inning, and it appears, TJ, that David Cone may be through for the day.
He came in, and Mel Stottlemyre and Joe Torre are talking to him, and he's patting him on the stomach there, and you see him go downstairs, and all indications is...
Wait a minute, he won't go easy, it doesn't look like.
Now he's going to lobby. He's going to say, look, can we take it to a vote? Call my mom and ask my mom if we, but he pitched. I tell you, that's an outstanding job.
Absolutely. Chad Curtis swinging at the first pitch, hits it hard, but Bordick is there to throw him out. Well, while we have time, I want to wish Nathan Reyes. He's 5 years old today. A very big happy birthday. He's enjoying a party at his home this afternoon, watching the Yankee game. There are a bunch of Yankee fans over there at that birthday party. Of course, Marty Reyes, our director here at WPIX. So happy birthday, Nathan. Your dad will be home right after the game.
With all the presents that you wanted.
Absolutely. And Ricky Leday bats with one out here in the 8th inning. Leday on the day is officially 0 for 3 with a couple of strikeouts. Rebele now playing shortstop for the Orioles. And Rich Becker, who came in to hit for Bordick, is in center field.
I think Erickson's going to leave him something on the inside part of the plate right here. I just have a feeling.
It was inside, and he was just a little bit late. Didn't get that top hand over.
2-1 fastball. I'm looking for something inside that I can pull. That was down and in. All you got to do is drop the head on the ball.
Well, that's like Pino's spaghetti with marinara sauce. A little late swinging there, too. Leday hit his first major league home run off of Scott Erickson at Camden Yards. And, of course, Mariano Rivera will answer the bell for the Yankees in the 9th inning. There's that inside pitch where he got the top hand around. As you mentioned, Scott Erickson, a workhorse. He's thrown a lot of pitches in this game, but he's kept his team in it.
He's thrown a lot of pitches. He leads the league in innings pitched. He leads the league in complete games. Scott Erickson has done everything Ray Miller wants.
That was 131 right there, and just fouled below us here in the booth. I had my hand out. I was ready to grab a good souvenir for Vivian. A lot of decisions for Ray Miller in the second half of 1998. Leday hanging tough.
I don't think it's the decisions for Ray Miller. I think the decisions go for Pat Gillick and Kevin Malone, the general manager, the assistant general manager, and Peter Angelos. Those are the guys that have got to do. Ray's just going to manage with what they give him and do a good job of it, I might add.
And probably most of the instructions will come from Angelos.
I believe so. And his sons.
You can just see the strength in the lower part of Erickson's body. He's got those huge legs, the legs that give him the power to drive that ball towards home.
You've got to have strong thighs and abdominal muscles.
Roger Clemens, Tom Seaver, they all had those
big
Tommy
thighs.
John. Swing and a miss on a breaking ball, so Leday strikes out for the third time. 2 out here in the 8th. Well, let's take a look at the game summary brought to you by Jeep, the most awarded winning brand of 4x4s on earth. Not a whole lot here in the New York third. Soho scored on a Chad Curtis. Yes, another Chad Curtis hit. And it was he was hit by a pitch this time that drove in the run, but it was done by Chad as he took one for the team. And this is Dale Swain.
Game-winning RBI.
Absolutely.
Hit by pitch.
A hit or a hit by pitch, it doesn't make any difference as long as you get that run across home. Off the end of the bat. Tough play for Reveille is short, and he makes it look easy. So the Yankees are gone here in the 8th inning. Yankees lead it 1-0 going into the 9th. Is sponsored by the Toyota Camry, the #1 selling car in America. Toyota every day. That's based on the R&L Polk 1997 total passenger car registration. And by Brewery Fresh Budweiser, who reminds you fresh beer tastes better. And by the company you count on wherever life takes you, General Motors. That's people in motion. And by Nobody Beats the Wiz. For the biggest selection at a guaranteed lowest prices on home entertainment and communication products, music, movies, and more, nobody beats the Wiz. Big crowd on hand for the closeout of the first half of 1998 here at Yankee Stadium. Scott Erickson behind in this game as the Orioles come to bat 1-0. But what a game he has pitched. It has been a pitcher's duel. Erickson still in the game. David Cone now will go to the showers, and he will turn it over to the bullpen, Mariano Rivera, with 21 saves on the year. So Mariano will pitch here in the 9th inning, trying to save this game for the Yankees.
What a year Mariano Rivera has had. On the DL for 15 days early in the season. Got his 21st save the other night. Look at that. 2 base on balls in 30 2/3 innings pitched. That is outstanding. Not very many strikeouts for somebody that throws the ball as hard as he does.
I don't think he's really had a chance to get into any rhythm because of the disabled list and because of the pitching staff, the way they've pitched lately. And Rafael Palmeiro leads it off and takes one inside. But Ralphie, if you take a look at him, he was diving in on that inside pitch.
Well, sure he was. There was, everybody makes a big thing of throwing inside, and he knew that he was diving and just happened to get a little chippies. Mariano throws, looks like a little slider right there, or a little cut ball that he got over on top of, and the ball had some down action. Good pitch right in that spot.
Well, the Yankees let John Wetland go to Texas. They thought it was a little bit too of a high price to pay for a quality closer in John Wetland to turn it over to a guy that, who knows which way he would have gone. He was comfortable in that setup role, setting up John Wetland, did a great job there. But we all know now that the Yankees and the brass making that decision were exactly right. They saved about $35 million on that particular decision. Maybe it was $40 million. I'm not sure.
The thing about when Wetland was here, the Yankees only had to play a 6-inning ball game. 6-inning ball game, turned 2 over to Rivera, 1 over to Wetland, and the game's closed down. But, like they said, money's money, and they gave it to this young man right here, and he has done a whale of a job.
Now the foul to the Yankee dugout. Strawberry getting a day off today. So Darrell will have at least 4 days to rest up before the Yankees open up the second part of the season in Tampa Bay. On the ground to right side. Easy play for Soho. 1 gone here in the 9th. Tommy, if David Cone wins today's ball game, well, then certainly his earned run average is going to come down some more. You and I were talking the first 2 games of the season where he gave up all those runs. That's where that ERA really ballooned on him. And then he had 1 more loss in this 11 out of 12 win that he was on. His earned run average could be close to 1 point something.
Well, if you take out the three bad games going into this game right here, his ERA would be 2.89, and now everybody says, oh, it's 4 something. But 3 bad games, and you got a high ERA, and David Cone is pitching as well as I've ever seen him pitch.
B.J. Surhoff now. It's no balls, 2 strikes to B.J.
You know, the thing I like about Coney's last starts, not walking very many guys. He's getting the ball, he's throwing strikes, they're putting it in play, and he's getting the strikeouts too.
Foul, and Girardi somehow, what was that? He hung on to it. I think it either bounced off the glove and it popped up, and he just stuck the glove out and caught it, so it's a strikeout. Just like a foul ball. Watch this one here. You won't see this very often.
It had to be off the glove, because if it hit any other part of his equipment, it's a dead ball and it's a foul ball. But the ball hit off his glove and went right straight up in the air, and he caught it.
I don't know that I've ever seen that. You may see it once in 20 or 25 years. Who knows? This is Ripken. Last chance for Baltimore. Strike 1 to him.
The way Cal Ripken's been swinging the bat, he's got to cheat so much on his fastball. You can just throw the ball right on by him on the outside part of the plate.
And they're staying out there. And there it is again. And now it's 0-2. Mariano went right to his mouth on the mound. Did you see that?
That's okay. That's ball 1. So now you don't have to waste a pitch.
What the heck? Big crowd on hand, and they're on their feet. They want number 12 for David Cone, and they want number 22 to save the department for Mariano Rivera. And they're going to get it. Soho will throw out Ripken, and the Yankees shut out Baltimore 1-0 as they sweep them here at Yankee Stadium. The first part of 1998 is over with, and the Yankees run their record to 61-20. Ties the Major League record for the most wins in the first 81 games of a season. How about that? And the Yankees will congratulate each other. They will take 3 days off, except for 5 who will travel off to Denver for the All-Star game. And they will join back again in Tampa, Florida, as they take on the Devil Rays.
Here's the last pitch of the game. A good, hard, high fastball, and Ripken was late on it. Couldn't do anything with it. Hit a weak ground ball to Soho. 4-3, game's over. 61 wins.
1-0. New York wins it. We'll be back with a wrap-up right after this.
Looking for real fireworks this 4th of July? Your Toyota dealer.
You see it. Yankees win another one from Baltimore, shutting them out 1-0. David Cone wins his 12th game, TJ, and now he ties Aaron Seeley for the most wins in the American League.
Bobby, this game was billed as a pitcher's duel, and it turned out 1-0. That was as good a game as you will see all year. David Cone did not disappoint. Scott Erickson pitched a good game, but David Cone was just a little bit better when he had to be. He made some great pitches with men in scoring positions.
And he did it on the right day. It's a beautiful day here at Yankee Stadium and a big crowd on hand. But let's take a look at our GM turning point of the game. And it comes in the 5th inning. Cal Ripken at the plate. Chad Curtis with the throw from center field. Shallow center field. It holds the runner, and then David Cone comes back to strike out Robbie Alomar. The inning is over with. That was really the only big threat for Baltimore in this game. And Chad Curtis once again plays another most important part of helping win this game. So Chad Curtis, who was hit by a pitch, that forced in a run. That was the only Yankee run. So once again, the Yankees win it by the score of 1-0. We'll be back right after this.
Made more waves.